All right, let's go to Chris. Let's go to Chris in Santan Valley, Arizona. What's up, Chris?
How you doing, John?
Hey, I am super nervous about jumping out of an airplane. Other than that, I'm doing great. How are you, man?
I'm doing good. I'd be nervous about jumping out of an airplane too.
You know why? Because it's insane, but good. That's I'm glad we're on the same page there. What's up, brother? How can I help, man?
So recently, on my job site, I spoke during Safety Week about my experience with mental health and anxiety, and I've gotten a lot of really good responses out of it. And I want to help these people, and so I'm wondering, like, what's the next logical step, or what's the next step that I should do here?
What's the job site, man?
I can't give you the name of it, but it's a very large job site. There's probably 5,000 construction workers.
Oh, construction. Dude, you had a mental health conversation with construction workers?
Yep.
Hey, I need you to hear me say this. There are few people I assign the word hero to, and what you do was heroic. That's a
Thank you.
Big deal, man. Because construction's hard, and it's got its own culture to it, and its own suck it upness, and its own I'm serious, dude. That's inspiring, man. Good for you. And so, tell me about how the conversation went.
I've had a lot of conversations with people afterwards. There's been at least 4 people that I know of that after I got up and talked about it, they reached out to their company's helplines. They went and got professional help.
Wow.
There's been a couple of people that after we talked one-on-one after that, they started taking their medications again. And it's just a lot of good positive results. People are getting help and they're helping themselves. And because of this, and like I got the momentum going right now and I've got the attention on it. And I want to keep driving it and keep trying to find these people that need help. And, we're swapping stories of how we're learning to deal with our mental health issues and go through it and dealing with life with these extra issues. So, I've thought of starting up maybe a support group. I've thought about maybe trying to figure out a way to keep pushing the awareness out there and keep talking about it. And I'm looking for a direction. I need some help.
Man, okay, so they don't make a lot of you, man. They broke the mold when you came off the line, dude. So it's an honor to get to talk to you. Thank you for your heart. Thank you for your vulnerability, your willingness to be open with folks. And for everybody listening, this is what the world needs right here. Is people to stand up in their area, in their group, with the audience they have, which may be an audience of 5 PTA moms, and it may be an audience of 5,000 construction workers rolling their eyes through a safety training, and then all of a sudden somebody comes up and says, "Hey, this happened to me." Good for you, man. This is what we do not need a bunch more politicians yelling at each other. We need more Chris's in the world. So thank you. All right. So I'm going to tell you a couple of thoughts I have moving forward, and then I'm going to challenge you on 1 or 2 things. Is that cool?
Cool. Sounds good.
All right. The first thing is I wrote down while you were talking, set up a recurring group. So same team, Jinx, right? I think that's wise. I think it would be really cool. Here's what I'm going to provide you. I'm going to mail you 10 copies for free of Redefining Anxiety. Okay, I'm going to just ship them to you in a box. You can hand out like Tic Tacs to people, okay?
Oh, wow.
And it's really thin. It's like 70 or 80 pages. It's really thin, and it's about dealing with anxiety and what it is, what it's not, and how to get your life back. That's the subtitle, okay? But it's not, you don't have to have a PhD to get through it. It's a very simple mental health awareness book for folks, and then it gives them some tools. So you'll be able to be a resource there. Also, if I'm not crazy, this is a particular industry that is, it's very challenging financially for some of the tradesmen. And so I'm going to send you 10 Ramsey Plus subscriptions. I work with Dave Ramsey here, and that includes the Financial Peace University. So here's what I'm saying. A class you could kick up is to teach the Financial Peace class and offer for a year the app and for folks who want to show up to this class. So I'm going to send you 10 of those for free, okay? And if you what you're going to do is you're going to teach these folks how to deal with their money, what some of their challenges are. And here's what happens when you teach someone how to deal with their money. They have to sit down with their spouse and have a hard conversation about values and about togetherness and about doing things differently and changing family trees and little tiny wins and paying off debt, and all of those track with getting on track with your mental health too. Getting connected with other people and changing your behaviors and changing your actions and planning and being intentional, all those things, right? So if you want to have a class that is, hey, we're just going to talk about what's going on in your life, challenges you're having, where you can be heard, great. If you want to have a class on how to deal with your money, some tactical things, I'm going to kick this class up and we're going to do that too. Okay. So I'm going to take care of you on both of those fronts just as my gift to you.
Oh, that is amazing. Thank you.
You got it, man. Thank you. So here's my challenge to you. Okay. You are feeling the other side of being vulnerable, which is other people reach out to you and they say, you made a difference in my life. Thank you. Incredible. And in my life, I'll just speak about me. I have to be careful because that is a powerful, intoxicating drug. And what I can do if I'm not careful is begin looking for where everybody's going through problems. And I start trying to insert myself and solve them or come up with another thing and another thing and another thing. You see what I'm saying? And over time, it becomes about me, not other people. So here's my challenge to you. The goal now that you have established this, as you've established yourself as a safe person, and you've established this is something we're going to talk about in this company and on these job sites. This is just is going to be who we are, is to create a referral system for therapists in your area. Ask local counselors if they'll come speak once a month at these groups. I go meet once a semester. I go meet with the Celebrate Recovery group here in town, just as a local expert. Hey, we want to pick your brain about this, and I end up walking away with way more than those guys did. But bring experts into this conversation who can facilitate groups, who can have some of these deeper conversations, and maybe partner with some of these construction companies to say, hey, we got a group of guys who are struggling. Will you guys pay for X or pay for Y? It will help everybody. The ROI will be more than the $150 you're spending for that 1 hour for donuts and coffee and a therapist to come give a lecture on fill in the blank. But you see what I'm saying? We're gonna transition the expertise from you to a series of experts and a series of a system, if you will, that's going to be a network of people, so people can get plugged in where they need to get plugged in. Does that make sense?
Total sense.
Okay. Am I out to lunch there, or can you go, oh yeah, I can see that happening?
I could see that happening.
Okay.
And I think that would be the right path ultimately.
Okay. What are some key things that have come up in your conversations?
A lot of it has been around, I'm not sure if I have issues.
Okay.
And I always kick people up to either their helpline or reach out. I'd have to say another big thing that keeps coming up is like we're just swapping stories. We're just encouraging one another, and it turns into a, do you think I should reach out to somebody? Yes, I do. And then like a week later, I end up having a follow-up conversation.
Great.
And they talk, and we talk about it, and then we kind of share it. And it's been interesting how, with me going through my mental health experience, how much it's connected with other people going through their mental health experience, because we get each other almost in a way that other people don't.
That's exactly right. Yeah. So one thing that you could do that would be really powerful is to make the conversation less about quote unquote mental health issues and more about people getting together and doing life together. And this is one of those things that I didn't fully get until I went down the loneliness rabbit hole. But everybody's got challenges in their life, and it's when we try to solve all these challenges by ourselves, week after week, month after month, year after year, that they turn into pathologies over time. That's not always the case. People have true mental illness. That's different than mental health challenges. But over time, it's the accumulation, it's the pile up of this stuff. And you know, it can be a great thing is a softball league or we all go to throw darts on such and such, and you better not miss, or we're all going to text you and harass you and call you, right? Because you're one of us. Places where people can get together and do life. The amount of money the company where I work spends on community interaction, just eating together and playing together, is astounding. And as a part of a profit sharing plan, I'm always like, dude, well, that's a lot of money we spent, but it's worth it. You see what I'm saying? So creating opportunities for people just to get together and do what you just said, just talk and hang out. And it's putting a coin in a bank and a coin in a bank and a coin in a bank so that one day someone's going to sit down and go, hey, I got to tell you something that just happened. Or my daughter's not okay. Or my wife left me again, right? And because you've built up this cash reserve over time. And so setting up some places where y'all can just hang out and talk, hang out and laugh, hang out and have some fun together. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. I
think this is incredible, man. You're talking about entire culture shift. And if you want to get real brave, sit down with the brass, with the folks who show up with the clean hard hats and suits, or the fancy jeans, and say, I gave this one talk, and we've had a bunch of people come forward. You'll have a real opportunity to help a lot of people. And if y'all go beyond hotlines and set up counselors, or maybe offer to pay for food, or set up a space where we can do a financial peace class, or go through some of those things where y'all pay the registration fee for a couple of softball leagues so we can start doing some stuff together, or have a daycare night where they can go on dates with their spouse, with their wives or their husbands, and we'll watch the kids. Come up with some things that will help people's lives be a little bit better. You see what I'm saying? And the mental health stuff begins to, not all of it, right? Not all of it. But man, you begin to turn the tide on some of that stuff. I think you're a beautiful soul, man. What got you inspired to have this conversation in the first place?
It was just going through the struggles of it myself. Mm-hmm. And I really got it into my heart that I wanted to get up there and talk to people, so that way anybody that was wondering, what's it like to go through this, what's it like to go get help, I could at least kind of give them a picture of what that might look like. And I really was I was so focused on, this is an opportunity to help people, but that's where my head was at. And
so good, man.
Well, I joked later, if I would have thought all the way through what I was getting up there to tell everybody about myself, if I would have thought about that beforehand, I may not have done it.
Right. That's but the fact that you did it, I mean, you altered people's trajectory, man, because you were brave, and I'm grateful for you. Thank you for stepping into that gap there. Yes, set up good systems, set up a group, set up some tangible, let's solve this problem, like money or oil changes or what. I don't know what the thing is, man. Whatever the thing is. I've met with people who started serving food because they noticed all their OSHA complaints were right after lunch. And so the owner of this pipe fitting company in Texas just started catering organic, like obnoxiously delicious, healthy foods. And the OSHA complaints fell down so dramatically that they got an investigation because they were cooking the books. But it gave the workers an opportunity to sit down and have lunch together inside instead of run across and eat at a gas station. And then they started eating healthier foods. And then they started saying, hey, can my families come up? Right. So it changed the system. I've seen it with mental health stuff. I've seen it with play. I've seen it with all kinds of different structures. But it starts with somebody like you saying, not on my watch, not anymore. I want my community and I want these folks' lives to be better. I want to help. So thank you, man. Thank you so, so, so much. Stay on the line here. We're going to send you everything. And Jenna, throw in, Chris, I'm going to send you also my new book. I want you to read it And if you find it of value, I'll send you a few more copies of that one. And you can pass that out to the folks as well as you see fit, man. And hopefully this will jumpstart you on your way. If you're listening to this, it starts with you where you are. The problems in our world and the problems in our government and the problems with our country are not going to be solved with more screaming. They just aren't. They're not going to be solved with more yelling. They just aren't. They're not going to be solved with more fists. They just aren't. They're going to be solved by standing up and saying, hey, this is what happened to me. And there's a different way you can do this. Who will join me? And that's what Chris did. That's what my friends do. And that is what you can do. Go make a difference.